Now these are so rare they even make unicorns look commonplace. Keep watching to find out more. So welcome to Lot 76 Cars. My name's Simon and today we're at a classic car show at the West London Aero Club. It's a fabulous turnout of cars already. I can see a Messerschmitt over one shoulder and I think an S-Type Jag over the other. But stick with me, let's have a walk around and see what we can see. So first of all, I must give a shout out to the Berkshire and District Classic Car Club who've organised this super event down at the West London Aero Club, and one of the first cars to arrive here is this super Volvo PH00S. Car's got the S designation when production moved to Sweden. Early cars were produced in the UK by Jensen, allegedly some issues over quality, and eventually the production moved back to Sweden. The early cars have this sort of cow horn front bumpers. These have got the flat single bumper. This one's actually open so we can see inside. I've seen these with red interiors, not with a black interior actually, but that does look rather nice, doesn't it? So this is a great little find. It's a Messerschmitt. Now I think these were called cabin cruisers technically and could be driven, I think, on a motorcycle license back in the day. Messerschmitt after the war clearly had a moratorium on building military aircraft or aircraft for military use, and they went into using expertise to build this huge canopy over the top. I think it's plastic or some form of plastic. There's not a massive amount of room in there. Look at the handles. You know, there's no steering wheel. It's I suppose an early version of a Tesla yoke, is it? You definitely need flying goggles for this. That wouldn't be over the top, would it? And then you've got that fantastic canopy. God, isn't that fabulous? So this is lovely. I don't know what the official BL colour for this is, but it's the Mark III Triumph GT6, so clearly based on the Spitfire itself, a derivative chassis wise. I think they all used a version of the Herald chassis right underneath, but this one, the GT6 as its name signifies, is the 6-cylinder car. So some people regard it as a mini E-Type. I think Hubnut tested one of these recently. I tell you what though, it's a very pretty looking car in coupe format, isn't it? So if you know what the colour is, I can't think off the top of my head, please put me out of my misery and stick it in the comments, please. So there's no harm in putting a Moggy Minor in there, especially when it's as lovely as this Traveller. H-plated, well, it must be coming towards the end, wouldn't that be 71, it says on the tax disc anyway. I think you've got this, you've got the split roof there, as you can see, between the Traveller part. The wood on these is actually structural, so that was always an issue back in the day. If you got a bit of woodworm, you got into big trouble. This one's called Stanley, and it's in absolutely beautiful order. Well, hello Stanley, you look absolutely lovely. Shall we have a look in the window? Well, it'd be rude not to because the window's open, so let's do it. Let's do it. So, plenty of painted metal in there. Beautiful, quite a bit of legroom. It shows you how cars have grown, but legroom hasn't, doesn't it really? Doesn't that look an absolute treat? Love it. So the bank robber's favourite back in the 60s, and I'm sure respectable people drove them as well. It's a Mark II Jaguar. It's the earlier car because the later BMC cars, when I think they were branded 240 and 340, got the thinner bumpers. But this one is, it is, I don't think the camera picks it up, but it is in stunning order. The paintwork is to die for. That is an absolute treat. If there's one to go for, that's it. And it's a 3.8 as well. Wow, ticks a lot of boxes, that one. Beautiful. So what we've got here, we've got a lovely Volvo Amazon estate. I don't think they were officially called Amazon. I think the official name was something like 121 or 122 in this case. I'm wrong, 122. Beautiful condition. These were used, one of the earliest uses for these were the police force. I think Hampshire Police took them. This is a 66. It's got some lovely features. It's really usable actually. We'll go round to the back and have a quick look. So you've got that split folding, split tailgate there. You can see it's perfect for putting your tea on. And also, if you've got loads, the number plate very helpfully drops down to keep you legal when you're carrying longer loads. Doesn't that look an absolute treat? Perfect. It's a real pity that some pre-war cars now, or pre-war cars in general, are not necessarily getting the attention. We really need to get younger people involved with these. Absolutely beautiful. This Austin 6 from I think 1929 is a stunning car. Just have a look on the bonnet. Now I didn't quite twig what this was, but there you can see that is effectively a temperature gauge that the driver can see from the driver's seat. That's clever, isn't it? See how hot the engine's running. Very practical. Lovely car. This interesting finish there, isn't it? Beautiful inside. Again, plenty of room. Very, very comfortable. Almost, you know, gentleman's club type seats, aren't they? Beautiful car. So let's have a walk around the back. We've got a fair bit of space for the picnic hamper on there as well. Quite a practical car. I'm not quite sure what the top speed is, and it promises hand signals only. Well, let's hope they're the polite kind. So avid viewers of the channel might have seen this before. It's a Vauxhall Carlton, and this particular GL automatic is one of one. It's the only 1983 GL automatic left, so there are probably some more unicorns kicking around than GL automatic Carltons. The original brochures there in the dashboard there, which is a lovely touch, isn't it? I love it when people do that, and some confirmation of the fact it's the only one left. Is my car a unicorn? Well, it definitely is. That lovely velour interior, automatic, what, 3-speed automatic box would it be on those? I'm not sure now. Very, very rare to see these. In fact, these, and I don't even see the earlier pre-facelift cars at all. I don't think I've ever seen one, so great to see that here today. Beautiful MGB with mini lights on, lovely interior. It's re-trimmed. If it has, they've done a lovely job with it. It matches the door cards very well, I must admit. That's a lovely car as well, isn't it? Great in that navy blue, whatever that's called, the BL colour. It's a late car. I'm not sure if it's been converted to chrome bumpers from rubber bumpers, because it's an N, unless that's the Cherries plate. Not sure about that one. So at a time when manufacturers were starting to implement monocoque construction without a separate body and chassis, Triumph went the other way, allegedly due to body making capacity, and I think it was car bodies or something like this hadn't got the capacity, so by making their own chassis they could manage it in-house. So this is Herald based, but it's a Vitesse, so it's a Mark II Vitesse, so I guess the Vitesse with the 6-cylinder engine. Tiny car's lovely with the beautiful interior there, isn't it? That's in super order as well, isn't it? With overdrive, probably quite a practical car. So there's a lot to be said for the Capri in Mark III format. Mark II facelift, some would say, rather than Mark III, but who could have seen a series of the professionals back in the day without seeing one of these screeching on the screen? This is a 2-litre S. It's got that trademark RS spoiler on the back, got those lovely and relatively small these days RS alloys. It's what, 84, and it's even got the original dealer plate, Sandy Cliff, and they were a Ford dealer up in Nottingham, so it's travelled a little bit during its life by the look of it. So a lovely, lovely Triumph Stag with a hard top. Now some of you might remember the TV programme Hazel. Well, unfortunately Hazel runs one of these and somebody sticks a pickaxe in the bonnet at some stage, which is a crying shame. So that one didn't survive, but this one survived far, far better. And doesn't it look a treat? What's that? Is it mimosa? No, it can't be mimosa. I can't think what the colour is. Again, pop it in the comments. I'm sort of doing this ad lib, and maybe you know. So to stay, they built circa 99, some people say 100 cars. I always manage to see one of these, and it's a Gordon Keeble, so it's got the unusual turtle as a logo. Now they built these down in Eastleigh in Hampshire. I think they've got a 5.4 litre Chevrolet engine and associated gearbox. There were plans to sell these even in the US. I think the body is an Italian, I'm not sure, it's a Michelotti design body or touring, but it was certainly designed by an Italian styling house. It had everything going for it. I even had a full order bank, but apparently the supplier of steering boxes went on strike, either went on strike or went out of business, and production stopped. And despite everything else, it actually it failed. The survival rate is very good. I think even into the late 80s and 90s, and to say they only built maybe circa 100, that's incredible. Beautiful to see. I absolutely love these. So this is also a rare one. What do you think it is? It looks a bit like a Spitfire maybe that's been modified. No, in actual fact it's a Reliance Saber 6. So these were built a joint venture between Reliant and Autocars of Israel, yeah, believe it or not, and they built this sports car. So you can see it's got lots of styling cues from cars of the period. I don't think they built absolutely huge numbers of these. Got that incredible bubble on the roof, maybe a bit more headroom in there. Looks pretty cozy in there inside, doesn't it? Quite a basic dashboard. Looks like it's been set up for competition here. Again, rare to see these. I'm not sure how many exist, but I think we're talking relatively small numbers because they didn't actually sell that many of them back in the day. There you go, Reliance Saber 6. Echoes of DB6 at the back, hasn't it? So this is an XJS, famously the car that followed on from the E-Type Grand Tourer. What makes this one unusual, it's an SC, so it's the cabriolet, not the full house convertible. It's a V12, the owner's been all over the Europe in it, and it's in lovely condition, it's well used. It's got the option of the rear seat, so Princess Diana actually had the rear seat option for her kids, so normally that would come with a deck in the back, but in actual fact this was also special order. Got a lovely Alpine stereo in there. That's a lovely car. Handbrake down by the driver's seat. Beautiful, isn't it? And a rare one. So following on from the V8 Pilot, Ford actually launched something that was a bit more European with the console range. Now this one's the convertible. Now it's not a Crayford. I think I've been told before that the bodies were done by Car Bodies in Coventry or something like that. It's a proper Grand Tourer. You've got a bench seat at the front with a column gear change. You've got stacks of room in the back. That sort of Bakelite-like steering wheel centre there. It does look nice, doesn't it? I mean, the paint finish is beautiful. What an incredibly elegant late 50s car that is. So this is obviously an E-Type. It's either a Series 1.5 or a Series 2 because it's lost the enclosed rear lamps. And this one's the 2+2. So the 2+2's got the far taller roof on it, a lot more practical. Beautiful inside this particular car, isn't it? I love the colour, by the way. Absolutely incredible, isn't it? Launched, I think the car originally, the car was launched in 61, something like that. So this one is, I think that makes it, what, a 70? Lovely. So the Capri name is back, but not quite in this format. So this is, it's a Mark 1 facelift car by the look of it, 73. Must be on the cusp of the Mark 2, which sort of squared the corners off a bit. This mini Mustang styling, love those vents in the side there. I'm not sure if they actually do anything or not. It's a full four-seater. You've got to love a vinyl roof, haven't you, really? What a lovely car. Great in that signal orange. It's an XL as well, so bit of spec there. Beautiful. So we've got a 1965 Ford Galaxy, and isn't that a treat to see it here? That looks like it's proper seen some track action as well. I don't think it's just somebody who's stuck a load of stickers on the side. It's well set up for the track. Doesn't that look incredible? And believe you me, it sounds incredible. I heard it coming earlier. These were chasing round minis. They could beat them on the straights, maybe but not on the corners. Back in the touring cars of the 60s, these were racing. Incredible to realise that. So although the registration plate dates it from what, 2015, 2016, you don't get much rarer than this. It's a Volkswagen XL1 built to deliver super fuel economy. In fact, 100 kilometers for 1 litre of diesel. They only built 250 of them. Now this looks like it's a VW press car from their heritage fleet. Incredible, recognise the VW switchgear in there. Super gull-wing doors. You've got fantastic access there, haven't you? Oh, this is an absolute treat. That teardrop shape. These are super expensive, even if you can actually find one for sale. Wow, that is something else, isn't it? What a car. So this is lovely, isn't it? It's a 1966 S-Type Jaguar in Warwick Grey, obviously based on the Mark II Jaguar, but the suspension, the rear suspension, was substantially changed. Now I'm told, I don't know for a fact, that these drive and handle better than the Mark II. Maybe Mark II drivers would disagree with that one, but it's got that distinctive longer boot line there as well. A lot of these met a grisly end in the TV cop show, the Sweeney, for those of you that remember it, or is it just me? But there you go, S-Type Jag. So this is a beautiful Sunbeam Tiger. Now this is based on the later car, so it hasn't got the bigger fins that I think the Series 1 car had. The Series 2 and 3 lost those big rear fins, but the Tiger is fitted with a huge American Ford lump, and it's a Ford 4.3 litre engine. Incredible cars, built by Jensen on behalf of the Roots Group. Now when ownership of the Roots brands changed to Chrysler Europe, Chrysler, obviously having their own large American engines, didn't feel too happy about Ford continuing with Ford engines, and the car was dropped, I believe. But yeah, it's not a shining retiring car, that one, is it? Doesn't it look lovely? And got a fair bit of grunt with it. So this is an early Capri 2.8 injection. It's hard to miss the fact injection with all those stripes on. Very, very early cars. My Y plate, it had a 4-speed transmission. This appears to have the 5. It's a beautiful colour, that two-tone blue over silver. Looks an absolute treat, doesn't it? Lovely. So this is a super rare Datsun 280Z. Datsun under Octave Botner in the days before it was branded Nissan. This was their halo car. It's a very original one. Apparently, the owner tells me it's one of 14, so he's going to invite me to have a look. Some lovely trademark styling features. So let's have a look inside. Oh, if you look at those half carpeted doors, that switchgear there, and you've got to like blue, haven't you? You really have to like blue. But isn't that a treat? Such a rare car these days, you know, budget priced, reliable supercars, or reliable sports cars they were. We'll get a shot round the back. We just won't close that too hard, it's not my car. Fabulous. Seldom seen in such unmolested format, are they? So this one's badged as Mini Gem, and it's a Mini Marcos, I believe a Mini Marcos, although it is badged Gem. Marcos was a company over in Wiltshire, built these mini-based, I don't know whether they were classed as kit cars or not, or whether they were partially built to avoid the purchase tax back in the day. But great to see that it's obviously well loved and well used, isn't it? Lovely. So as an alternative to the GT6, you could have the normal Spitfire if you wanted, with the, I guess, the 4-cylinder engine. And here we go, the Spitfire. Looks lovely, doesn't it? I love the plasti dipped, or whatever the steering wheel's design is. We'll just get a close-up of that one. Let's have a look at that one. That's quite distinctive, isn't it? A Disney theme. Fabulous. That's cool. So I'm reliably informed this is a 1958 Bentley S1. I thought these were tagged Continental. I could well be wrong. Stick it in the comments. It's certainly a very, very elegant way to travel with its white wool tyres. It's got a bit of class, hasn't it? Absolutely fabulous. Wow, what a way to go. So the local Morgan Club is out in force, and all these cars have hardly changed over the years. The aficionados would point out the differences. That's an H-plated car, isn't it? I think that's quite a, what, 1990. Various engines they used. I think they used Ford engines, Fiat engines, Rover engines, but still recognisably exactly the same silhouette. If you know, you know, and you clearly know that that's a Morgan you're looking at, or in fact several Morgans in this case. So this 1967 A40 Countryman Mark II was brought back from the dead by the owner after an insurance write-off. It's the Countryman. So the Countryman, the difference being, it's got a very useful rear hatch arrangement, although I think it's a split tailgate. You can see the hand of, I think, the Farina, the Pininfarina on this car as well. Very distinctive styling of the period, isn't it? That's in lovely, lovely condition now. What a great job they've done of bringing that one back from an end in the scrapyard. So I think these have got about 220 brake horsepower. Yeah, it is same year as my Mercedes, I think a 90 Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. So Sapphire being the booted version of the car, and doesn't it look fantastic? These were certainly the performance car to have, you know, blue collar performance car. This was the one. It looks in great order, doesn't it? So fire up the Quattro, so popularising four-wheel drive, and with the name Quattro on it, what could be better? Apparently this was one of the last 3 ever made. It was manufactured, so it says, it was manufactured in 1991, which is quite a late car. Incredible cars. Fabulously successful in rallying, and everybody wanted one. I know I did anyway. Beautiful. So we've got an E30, originally sold in Denmark, spent its life in the Channel Islands. It's a really low mileage or low kilometre car. It's actually a 2-door car, left-hand drive, beautiful condition. These are starting to be really well appreciated now, aren't they? Especially ones in that condition. That's lovely. So Roots' Audax series, or Audax, I think Latin for audacious, series of Minxes and associated brands. They were kings of badge engineering and Roots, but it gave way to a lovely series of beautiful convertibles. It's got a floor shift rather than a column shift there. Beautifully appointed in the Singer brand this time. What a stunning colour combo that one is, isn't it? There's a lot to be said for that, I tell you. I do like that. So this is a rare one. It's a Lancia Fvia from 1964. It's an original UK car. Apparently these were front wheel drive with a 1.8, I think, flat 4 engine. Incredible to see them. They're rare, but the owner tells me not worth huge amounts of money yet, which is such a shame. But those who know, and isn't that unusual? So we're still on a Singer theme here, and this is one of the Aero series cars. So the Aero series that Roots ran with the Hillman Minx. Also, they were masters of badge engineering, as we've said many times, and they had this rather unusual Singer estate. From, I'm just looking at the registration on that one. Let's have a look. Is that a P? Would that make it? Oh no, it's an F. Of course it's not a P. It would make it something like 68, 69. Well, it's in very usable order, isn't it? So those of you who've watched the channel for a while will know I keep banging on about E39's BMW 5 Series. This one is an incredibly desirable M Series car. Not just an M trim line, but it's a proper full house M5, and none the worse for it. Those are super desirable, at least to me anyway. Make your own minds up. So the Austin 7 chassis was made into race cars, had many different bodies on it. It was incredibly versatile, and this one is a Gordon England Cup model. Well, I didn't know what that was either until I just read it. Built in 1927, it's a lightweight touring car, lightweight, and it's small. I think I could probably get that in my rucksack here today. What an incredible little car that is. That must make an interesting drive in 2024 on the roads, I guess. So we've got a very lovely Volkswagen Splitty T1, I think they're called. Beautiful colour scheme in here. I love if you like green, you've come to the right place, but it doesn't half look a treat with those gingham curtains as well. Wow, that's a great way to come to a car show, and when you've been on your feet all day, pop in there and get the kettle on. Lovely. So this is owned by one of the club members, and he only bought it relatively recently. It's an Austin A35, so the 35 had the bigger rear window. It has apparently got Austin Healey Sprite wheels. Well, you wouldn't know, but they're ventilated, so I get a bit more cooling for the brakes. And we're going to have a quick look inside it because he has uprated the seats as well. Front seat, the seats were a little bit uncomfortable. Now I'm going to be able to open this myself. Oh yes, I am. And he's put MX5 seats in, but he assures me he can change it back, but they're considerably more comfortable than the originals. And can you see up there on the dashboard, that's the indicator right in the middle, that switch there. Oh, how bizarre. These are great. I mean, I guess we've got Wallace and Gromit to thank for a lot of this, haven't we, really? But absolutely great. Love it. So this is a 1948 Armstrong Sidle Typhoon. I'm reliably informed. Hasn't it survived well all those years? So Armstrong Sidle was originally an aircraft company. This is a very, very elegant looking coupe. Shall we have a look inside? I did ask the owner. I'm getting used to these door handles now. That suicide doors, hinges from the back. Beautiful original trim. The owners left it as unrestored because it's only original once. Look at that. That incredible dashboard. Wow, it's got that old car smell that they all have. If you could bottle it, name it old car of the late 40s, you'd make a fortune supposedly. What a fabulous looking coupe. So we'll close it there. We'll have a look from the back as well. That is late 40s style elegance, isn't it? I love it. Absolutely love it. So the 126 Fiat, what can we say? Looks so small you look like you can pick it up and put it in your rucksack. Absolutely. This one must be a relatively late car, ignoring that registration plate. It is a Polish car. These, I believe, were pretty much only built in Poland. And this is a left-hand drive example. Great to see that here today. Incredible to realise it's also a classic. Launched in the late 50s is this absolutely stunning Aston Martin DB4. So what can you say about this? See, this is a very early car, apparently something like within the first 30 cars produced or something like this. And it is absolutely lovely, isn't it? No wonder it's getting a lot of attention here today. It's beautiful. So Healey arriving with an MGA. The Healey was built on a modified Austin Atlantic platform. Sounds good, doesn't it? And the MGA, a massive big seller in the States back in the day. So what have we got here? Well, in fact, it's an Alvis Silver Eagle from 1935, with, as many cars had back in this period, a special body. This one, it says by somebody called Cross and Ellis. A drop top, and doesn't it look nice? Alvis, a name that disappeared when they were acquired by BMC, and the brand actually went into hibernation for many years, but they're back producing cars again to some of the original designs. All the designs and the bucks that they used to build them and beat the metal over still exist apparently. That's incredible. It's good to see that one, isn't it? And pretty unusual. So this is a Ferrari 308 GTBi, and very unusual to see these, particularly in this colour. Not really a Ferrari colour you'd expect, but beautifully contrasting interior trim, that sort of biscuit colour or light ivory trim. Doesn't that look incredible? It's one of the later, I think, Quattro valve cars, and it looks incredibly special, doesn't it? So thanks again for joining me at the Berkshire and District Classic Car Club show organised at the West London Aero Club. Absolutely fabulous show here today. Hope you've enjoyed the cars we've seen. Please click on like, share, subscribe, and click on notifications to be informed about my next video. And once again, as always, thanks for watching.